Hello, this Aldine ISD online Iowa assessment webinar will focus on how to proctor the online testing for students in Data Manager. As a helpful suggestion, after you have created your test sessions for all your students, you will need to create an index card or a small piece of paper for each student. This will help the test administrator to be better organized and more successful in each day of testing. What you will want to include in each index card is the student's first name, their grade level, and their student ID. Then, for students in grades K through 2nd, a total of 3 different sessions are required: the Getting Started, the Reading, and the Language Arts. For students in grades 3 on up, only 3 sessions are required, and the 3 specific sessions are Getting Started, the Reading, and the Written Expression. Please make sure you label which test it is, so put the GS for Getting Started, otherwise you may forget which 6-digit code is connected to each test. Let's keep the grades 3 to 12 sample. So we have students and each have their index card that I have prepared before testing. We're now ready to begin testing. So as the proctor, I have already logged into my Riverside Data Manager account, which I will show you later on how to do. Students will open the secure browser that should be already installed in all of their devices that your students will be using. Whether you are using a desktop computer or a district Chromebook, which already has the application pre-installed, this student login will appear. Students then will need to enter their student's ID number and the 6-digit session code for that particular test. So we are about to begin the Getting Started test from grades 3 to 12. Students will type their ID and they will write 146847 as the specific session code. Let's go ahead and model how to do this by going into the system. So I'm going to open up the internet, a web browser. Important note, as the proctor, you will have to be on a desktop computer to avoid having any testing issues. We're going to go to the Riverside Data Manager website, and we're going to just retype it again, Riverside Data Manager website. And you have to enter your username and password, which again, one has been created for every LPAC administrators or GT administrators as well. After you log in, you're going to see your welcome screen, and I will invite everyone to go again to your application switcher, which is right below the Data Manager banner here at the very top. When you click on the application switcher, you will be able to go ahead and select the assessment options, and you will be the test events that are having created at the district level. You do not have to create another test event. In this case, we are showing the LEP Iowa assessment, and the only button that you have to select is the blue button. Again, that's to proctor an online test. The other buttons are for district administration personnel, so you don't have to click on those. Only focus on the blue button. After you have selected that button, you will come to the proctor session screens. As you can see, I am able to see everyone in the district. And your side, you will only be able to see your sessions for your campus. So I have a 5th grade students that need to take the 5th grade Getting Started. So I'm going to go ahead and select the Parker 5th grade Getting Started session code or session. And as you notice, when you open them, you will not see any students. Do not panic. That is just the normal way that you're going to see, even if you have added 35 students. The only way that you're going to see students is after they start logging in. You will see that their name of the students start populating in this proctor session screen. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and have our 5th grade students, John Peter, log in. And once we go ahead and put the username and the session code, you're going to see that John Peters appears in our session or proctor session screen. After a few minutes, you can see that John Peters has already completed his Getting Started, which is just a couple of minutes. At this time, I can go ahead and hit End Testing All. and it's going to give me this message, which is asking me to close all test events. Okay, and I want to go ahead and proceed with John and give him the opportunity to go ahead and continue testing, because all the testing has to be done within 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the reading. And as you can see, again, there's no one in there because the students have to start logging in order for the students list to start populating. So I'm going to go ahead and have John enter his student ID and the session code. The session code, again, for the 5th grade reading will be 375913. I'm going to have him go ahead and enter that 375913. After he logs in, then I'm going to go ahead and be able to see him on my session. As you can see, there he is, John Peters, 5th grade reading, and I have two options. I can go ahead and approve of if I have multiple students, or I can just click on the green arrow to approve. So I can do either way. So this time, now I'm gonna go see, I'll have the opportunity for him to complete the test. But before we continue, I would like to remind everyone that it is imperative that while your students are testing, for you to maintain your Proctor screen open. If you close it at any time during the test, the student will be exited out of the test and will not be able to continue testing. So you can minimize it, but again, do not close your Proctor session screen. I'm going to go ahead and pause it one more time to allow some time for John to continue testing and see what happens next. Okay, so by this time now, John is already on his last question, and I would like for you to watch what happens when he completes his last question. He's selecting it, and now he's on the review page. And as you can see, he still has 23 minutes left in his timing. So he was doing it pretty fast, but he has time now to go ahead and go back and review. And if he skipped any items, he can go back to that particular question. One more thing that I would like to add. If we have students that on their IEP, they have extended time already included, we can also go ahead and click in here on the extended time, and we can, I don't know, add 5-10 minutes to their time according to the need of the students. So you can do that at any time as well. Before closing this webinar, I would like to share some helpful hints for student computers when they were freezing. What we have noticed is that students cannot click next or go for the next test item until the buttons are blue or green. They will be grayed out, meaning the students cannot hit next. Some students tend to get impatient with instructions at the beginning of each subtest that are slow and methodical, basically to ensure that all students understand everything that is being asked of them for that test session. If they keep on clicking and clicking on that gray button, they could cause freezing problems on that computer system. So you want to monitor students to make sure they're not doing that they're not becoming impatient. Instruct them to wait until the button is blue or green, and they could click next for grades 3 and up, and go for grades K1 and 2. And that's how we practice the students test in the data manager. This will cover all the steps to enroll students in Data Manager. And again, I want to thank everyone for joining in this webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly at ejuarez@aldineisd.org, or by contacting Data Manager directly at 1-877-246-8337. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.